guard, Jimmy, this is right up your alley. Point guard, shooting guard, and both among the elite at their position.
Well, they've got a runner and a racehorse in John Wall, and they've got a shooter in Bradley Beal. They're both scorers. They average 23 a game, a little more than that. And you got to keep track of them, particularly in the open court.
The Washington win is memorable because a minute in is when Kevin Durant went out. Top double, Zaza walled him off nicely. Shot clock at 7. Here's Beal soaring. Draymond met him at the top. Pachulia's got to keep Gortat off the glass. He did that very well. And Clay bombing a 3 on the other end. The defense in this winning streak has been so much fun to watch. And then the engine that has driven the Warriors.
Particularly in the fourth quarter, as we talked about before the game. I'd like to see it come to life in this first quarter. They got off to a good start last game, and then they kind of slumped in that first quarter.
Curry catch and shoot 3.
I just had a feeling they're ready to play this team today. This team has been tremendous since the first of the year. They were 2 games under 500 January 3rd. They've gone 30 and 12 since Washington has.
That's the job for Steph or Clay. Make Wall be a jump shooter. He misfires there. Setting up Draymond and denied. A good defensive Otto Porter. It's a 3-on-1. And Beal will finish.
You can see John Wall even beats his teammates down the floor with the ball in his hands. He didn't wait for them either.
Are you saying everyone that runs with Wall is a trailer, just by definition?
Yes.
Because he's ahead of all of them. Lob to McCaw. He did well just to catch it. Clay barely in his hands and hit the side of the backboard. How would you defend John Wall?
Well, in open court, you need help. You see what he does there? And he zigzags his way. He's relentless to the rim, a pursuit of the rim. And you better be aware, number one, for their speed. And it starts with this man right here who's going to shoot a free throw. Think and play defense first. You know, don't try to hit the home run with your offense. Be patient with your offense, in fact. Look for a good shot, because I'll tell you what, this team runs on every quick opportunity.
Those are the roundtable keys to the game tonight. Wall completing that three-point play. Zaza working on Gortat. A little strong, and here comes Wall again, and slowing him down. Easier said than done. Setting up Porter's 3. And Curry will try to run it back.
Otto Porter, before the All-Star break, led the league in field goal percentage from three-point range. He's gone south.
Oh, Clay, beautiful English as he spun that home. Yeah, Porter is slumped to 44% on threes.
Well, yes, because after the All-Star break, he's at 35%.
Zaza, great defense. Steph weaving through traffic. Pac kind of ran into Markieff Morris. Pat staying with it and saving. Curry 3. Good!
Now that's a play that'll be shown all over television tonight. That's the way the Warriors play. They're loose, they're unpredictable, and they can hurt you even when you look like it's turned into a turnover.
How about the extra effort by McCaw after he had the shot blocked? He stayed with it. Markieff Morris, he can be a handful, particularly mid-range jump shooting.
Stephen Curry's made, well, they got a steal here. Lazy.
Clay has to foul Beal at point-blank range, and take me through this sequence.
Well, Curry's made 2 great passes, one to Draymond Green and McCaw. Neither of them resulted in anything directly. But then the ball comes back to him after the save, and he's poised for a 3. That just kind of breaks the defense's heart.
How about the fact Draymond never even came down? He caught it in the air and found Steph before he even landed.
Just gives him more time with the ball in his hands for Stephen Curry.
Beal missing the free throw. Well, Scotty Brooks saw his Washington team win at Cleveland pretty handily. All the success with the Thunder. He's been coach of the year. I think he's done a nice job this year.
Yes, and there's no room for error. After being in the playoffs, going to the second round a couple years ago. Last year, they're 41 and 41. They fire Randy Whitman, and he gets hired. 62% winning percentage for Scotty Brooks. 3 times won the Western Conference Finals and took him to the NBA Finals in 2012 with Oklahoma City.
Todd trying to stay with Stephen. Oh, no. Faked him out and hit a three. Now you see him, now you don't.
Now, how many people lose a defender without dribbling? Just on faking a pass.
And Beal right to the rim.
Yeah, they're working on him just to round out his game, not just be a three-point shooter.
Curry is 3 of 3 on threes. And that one Zaza unable to collect.
If you're going to the basket today and Curry's in the vicinity with the ball, you better be ready to catch. He is looking to make passes.
He's had those double-digit assist games.
Only had 4 of them first half of the year.
Gortat. Marcin Gortat is more than serviceable. And with the starting unit, he rolls to the basket. He can finish inside. Clay, little mid-range. Here comes Wall. The Usain Bolt of the NBA. That's an offensive foul.
Offensive foul. Charging number 5,
Now, Markieff Morris saw Wall coming, and so he tried to be a moving screen there.
You're going to see him just step into a little bit of a push. Didn't really need to do it. I think he scored regardless.
And there's a moving screen the other way.
Offensive foul.
It's on Zaza. Warriors have opened 5 of 10. Washington 5 of 9.
I can see how you get a moving screen, the one they called on Washington. In transition like that, you're trying to give a little help. But most of the time, this is the man who's handling the ball. The guard's fault for not setting the man up and being patient for the screen for Zaza to set it.
There's the rolling Gortat. He said he's very effective in doing that.
Averaging double-double, second time in his career.
Zaza beat him down court and was rewarded.
That's the backcourt responsibility there. He scores, they've got to rotate back. Beal or Wall or both. Curry's even play better defense, and he's got a handful tonight.
Can't play Wall any better than that. Steph stayed right with him, didn't reach, moved his feet, and forced the turnover.
I liked the way he approached it when the screen first came. He took up the slack.
Draymond off a nifty Curry delivery.
Curry's got something extra tonight, Bob. He is looking to pass first, despite him knocking down the threes already.
Got 9 points, 4 assists, 3 on 3 on threes. Take Markieff Morris back to the basket or mid-range wing jumpers. Gortat's a little banged up, kind of running gingerly down the court. And Steve Kerr's going to use the timeout. Elite teams offensively. Amazing backcourt. But when a center gets switched out on Steph Curry, where did he go? Well, the ball went in the basket.
Welcome back to Oracle Arena. Warriors up 2 on the Wizards. The Warriors are on a 10-game winning streak, and it's founded in improved defense. Steve Kerr pointed to increased activity level on the defensive end. He said, defense is all about rotations and multiple efforts. NBA players and teams are so talented, even if you stop the first option on a play, the ball moves and then the next action takes place. He said during our losing streak, we were only defending the first part of every play. During the win streak, we were defending the entire shot clock. And this also echoes what Stephen Curry told me recently. He said, we're at our best when we show up defensively. Guys?
And that's exactly one of Jim's keys, Roz, is think defense first. Have that be the mindset. Curry finally misses the 3. And here comes Wall again. The Warriors are so talented offensively that they could come out with an idea of just going to run teams out of the gym, play with firepower, but
that's a bad piece of philosophy, isn't it?
And we see those games get far more competitive than they need to. I think against all these playoff teams this week, it's come out and try to play D. And Steph setting up Zaza. And Curry's halfway to another double-digit assist night. And we've played half a quarter.
I'll bet you Zaza is just as efficient from 12 feet as he is from 2 feet a lot of the time. When there's traffic inside, he has a difficult time. But he's pretty good and reliable with that little jump shot from mid-range.
Good idea by Draymond. Tap that rebound to an open spot. Clay from the baseline. Markieff Morris long on that three, and Draymond with the rebound.
I think Washington's the type of team that sometimes I bet they go 4 or 5 possessions back and forth without knowing the score or even looking at it. They just play.
Dangerous pass. Zaz unable to save it. And McCaw knew it. He just pointed to the bench.
They disrupt also. 4 turnovers now for the Warriors.
So McCaw will sit, as well as Draymond. Draymond 4 rebounds, 2 assists and a bucket. Sean Livingston, Iguodala in. This should be where the Warriors have the edge, Jim. The reserves for Washington are not nearly as accomplished as the Warrior bench.
Well, we know their starters over 83 a game. Their bench is about 26.5 points per game.
Lock and lob. Markieff Morris in Washington at a critical time. It was a Morris lob dunk over Draymond. They gave Washington the win.
That was the key basket of the game.
Steph dropping in another 3. 4 of 5 on threes. A lot of times Clay will guard a point guard, but it's Steph staying with Wall. Because Bradley Beal's such a handful. Shot clock down to 2. Able to get it off and hit iron, and then Gortat on the glass.
Wall had a shot from the baseline, but he's looking to make plays. I mean, there was no one near him when he went at Pachulia.
High screen, Iguodala will offline on the 3. Beal will handle now. Great energy both ways in this game. And Bradley Beal, not just a jump shooter.
Not anymore.
23 a game, 41% on threes, but we noticed that the first time the Warriors played Washington.
Their defense hasn't taken hold here. It's not a great sign. Curry's got, that's a nice follow-up. Livingston, Curry's got 12 points, 4 or 5 from three-point range already, and you're looking at a three-point game.
Washington's 10 of 18 shooting, and they have 16 of their 22 points in the paint. And now the reach-in foul, and the bang in the basket. John Wall going for his second three-point play opportunity.
Warriors foul charge. Stephen Curry, first personal 13th foul.
So Bojan Bogdanovic will check in, acquired mid-season. 14-point per game score. He is the bench firepower. Kelly Oubre Jr. also in. And the depth and luxury for Steve Kerr, he reinserts Draymond back into the game. So with his bench unit, JaVale McGee and Draymond, Iguodala, Livingston, and Stephen.
Let's see if McGee can change the game. He was terrific against Houston.
Scored it out of Draymond's hand, fortunately right to JaVale. Former Washington Wizard, and he scores over Gortat.
Yeah, he's psyched up today.
JaVale plays Denver and Washington. He's got a little spring in his step. That's it. McGee didn't leave his feet. They contested Gortat's jumper. Steph thought about a super deep 3, got a foul and made it anyway. It won't be continuation, but he is locked in from distance.
Washington foul charge.
I think he's locked in everywhere, but we have a close one here.
2:45 remaining in the first with the Warriors up 3.
The Warriors dance team.
Warrior lead at 3. Both teams shooting better than 50%. Our Lexus experience amazing. JaVale McGee against the Rockets. You said change the game, Jimmy. Couldn't have said it any better. Second quarter, he was spectacular.
Both ends of the floor, picking up blocks. He's just so much more alert defensively. He's playing under control now. He feels he belongs. You can tell he's found a team where he's found a home. And he's taken a lot of abuse throughout his NBA career.
5 blocks and 13 points in 11 minutes. But You don't see him jumping on pump fakes. You don't see him overextending defensively. And Steve Kerr is using him perfectly.
He's getting a little more freedom working offensively, by the way. He's going a little more one-on-one. Earlier in the year, didn't seem to do that. Curry is a wizard with the ball tonight.
They put Brandon Jennings in to slow him down. Shot clock at 3. Iguodala on Bogdanovich and carrying the jumper.
That's what I noticed about Andre Iguodala. First half of the year, he's never going to look at a man, work, and take a shot with a hand in his face. It doesn't deter him now at all. His confidence has been regained. He's got new life, and he's looking terrific.
Iguodala stayed with Beal nicely. Shot clock at 7. DeVale gave ground, then contested the shot. It's a made 3, but it's still the right way to play him. You didn't have Beal drive around him for a layup.
That's just better offense. It beats good defense there.
Livingston, very confident drive in his own right.
Well, he usually ventures a little out of the paint, but that time he leaned to the hoop. You don't see that very often. Strong move.
Brandon Jennings, Bradley Beal, Gortat, Bogdanovich, and Oubre Jr. And the presence of JaVale changed that shot. Draymond on Gortat, really lost it. The lob, a bank lob. How about that?
Well, he gets a rebound and 2 points there. They've got to counter a shot, right?
That was funny. JaVale played the passing lane.
That's what happens here.
Behind the back to Draymond to lay it in.
I'm telling you, Curry is something special tonight. He is really locked in.
Ray Jr. missing the left-handed 3. Lead Iguodala, drop it to Steph. Apparently no foul, and the Warriors foul on the counterattack. The whole Warrior bench jumped to their feet.
Andre's got to finish that shot there.
Livingston. First personal, 14 foul. Substitution for Washington. Check in.
No foul?
Number 28,
DeAndre, he has the angle there. He's got to finish that shot.
Okay, I want to take that play and then the garbage we watched James Harden shoot free throws on and have someone explain to me what we're doing here with the back-to-back MVP. A little consistency in the superstar realm, please. As Beal hits a 3.
I don't think, here's a problem too. I don't think Stephen expected the ball. All right, it kind of shocked him there. You make the simple play here. By the way, the Warriors,
but I
Warriors,
also want him shooting free throws when he's fouled. Iguodala will draw it on the pass here.
The Warriors held James Harden to 2 free throws in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
That's how good their defense was.
First team foul.
Shot 4 of 18 in the game.
You noticed Spring and Steph and also the intensity level.
High energy.
Both teams shooting better than 54%. The offense has been excellent, and anyone checking in knows this is a legitimate game between 2 of the elite teams in the league. You can just feel it. Jan Mahimi in. There's 2-second separation, game and shot clock to end this first quarter.
Curry hasn't stopped running.
They run it, Steph. And Draymond traveled. So Washington gets the last crack at it at 5.3.
High scoring first quarter. No one had more energy in this first quarter than Stephen Curry, and he's got to get his teammates up a little bit. He's playing a little faster than they are, believe it or not, at the offensive end.
We talk about the point guards in this league, and the great ones measure themselves against each other. I know it's important for Wall, and I think it's important for Steph. Stop Beal at 3, rising from the foul line and misfiring there. Very good 12 minutes of action. The team's 28 of 51 from the field, and 7 threes going down. Beal's got 13, Steph's got 12, and the Warriors 5 straight playoff opponents. Washington every bit that. It's a Warrior 5-point advantage after the first 12 minutes.
can't touch this. Yeah, that's how we living, and you know, can't touch this. Look in my eyes, man.
Oracle Arena, Chris Tucker.
What's going on like that? Like that. Hold on a minute, just fall on back. Let them know that you're too much, and this is a beat they can't touch. Yo, I told you, you can't touch this.
Substitution for Washington, checking in.
Beginning the second quarter, Bob Fitzgerald, Jim Barnett, Ron Gold on Wood A with you. Very high level first quarter offensively. And David West finding Iguodala to begin the second.
For the Warriors, checking in first time, 22, Matt Barnes.
Matt Barnes, Ian Clark, Iguodala, David West, and Klay Thompson. Jan Mahimi with Brandon Jennings, Kelly Oubre Jr., Bogdanovich, and Thomas Satoransky.
Now this is where the Warriors have to make progress against the second unit. Second unit's one of the weakest scoring units in the entire NBA, 26 a game. Now, last night, excuse me, yes, 2 days ago, they lost to Utah. They failed to score 90 points for the second time this year. This first quarter, 52%, 30 points for Washington. They're ready to play.
And you had John Wall fined by the league, commenting about the officiating after that game in Utah. But keep an eye on Utah, Jim. They'll be in the Warrior bracket in the postseason, likely against the Clippers in the 4-5 matchup. Jazz are no joke.
Nope, they're solidly at number 4.
Warriors will see Utah, second and final game of the season. Jennings, a little teardrop. Brandon Jennings will always be in Warrior history. He had 55 against the Warriors when he was a rookie in Milwaukee.
Hasn't come near that since.
Nope. Ian Clark bottoming that three. And continued excellence from Ian. 40% on threes, 50% from the field. A solid, reliable reserve. Washington takes time. 10.5 remaining in the second quarter. The Warriors' biggest lead right now, as they've already hit 6 threes.
Warriors basketball on NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by AAA Insurance. Get an auto or home quote. Get a free tech-friendly cargo bag. Go to AAA.com/protect or visit a AAA branch for details. Certain restrictions apply.
Beautiful Bay Area. What a day, what a weekend weather-wise, with the Warriors leading by 8. And a Mission High School basketball team, the first public school in the city to win a state title. They went 35-1. They are here as guests of the Warriors. They were just announced during that timeout. And congrats to Mission High for that championship.
They're having a lot of fun, as well they should.
Satoransky's from the Czech Republic. Second round pick back in 2012, signed in the offseason. Bogdanovich fouled by Iguodala.
Warriors foul charge to Andre Iguodala, first personal.
Now when Bojan Bogdanovich can do this, then Washington's in better shape. He normally is a catch and shoot perimeter player, but put it on the floor there to get to the rim. And when they sub out Wall and Beal, they're dying for bench scoring, which is why they traded for him mid-season. Take the Warriors on the go this season and stream games live on the NBCSportsBayArea.com and NBC Sports app, brought to you by your NorCal Honda dealer.
Bogdanovich, first pick in the second round back in 2011 by Miami. Only one time was they traded on trade deadline. Went from the Jazz to the Knicks.
You canceled a practice. You found out you're going to be traded. And
that's right.
Said, I'm getting moved here. I'm not practicing today. That's one of your best stories.
It's just part of the job of being in the NBA. You get traded and you have to move on. Got a good look at Satoransky there from the Czech Republic.
I always look at the trades this way. Somebody wanted you.
That's where you have to look at it.
Right. I mean, that's...
Absolutely. Didn't mind going from the New Orleans Jazz to the Knicks. I can tell you that.
There you go.
Wouldn't mind that at all.
Well, I think for Bogdanovich, who's come here to Washington, you know, there are some, particularly the most recent meeting between Cleveland and Washington. The way the bracket's set up, Boston may see Washington before the winner would see Cleveland. But the Wizards, at least their starters, they can hang with Cleveland a little bit. The Cavs are in a bad way defensively.
By the way, Boston won their 50th game of the season.
They did
today.
San Antonio has also won, so the Warriors need to keep pace and stay ahead. Shot clock at 3. Mahinmi fouling David West. No, it's a travel. Derek Collins had the foul. Tony Brothers had the walk.
Well, this is just size and strength against strength.
It was a travel.
Yep.
Correctly called.
You pick up that dribble, you're not going to jump over Mahinmi.
Matt Barnes reaching. Warriors did a good job not to reach against Houston. Really were disciplined the second time they saw the Rockets. A lot of ISO Bogdanovich. Matt Barnes staying right with him. Nice pass inside to Satoransky, who can't finish. Clay trying to initiate his own offense instead of being the recipient. And Clay does, setting up Iguodala. How about that?
When you play on the opposite side and end up on the other side from Klay Thompson or Stephen Curry, you're going to get a lot of open looks. They draw a crowd defensively.
David West gave ground, sent Jennings away. Barnes handling in the middle.
And you got an advantage. So a little out of control. You got to wait and see what you have. Take a look over your shoulder because Ian Clark was trailing for a wide open, naked 3.
Are you looking floor balance and counting how many guys are back or with you? How do you do that when you're handling the ball?
Automatically do that. You see and you know. Otherwise, you wouldn't be at this level. Absolutely. Barnes knew it was 3-on-3, but he should know the trailer was coming. Open.
Still Warrior ball with 11 to shoot.
That's the thing about it. You've got to go fast and you've got to go quick, but you can't. You can sometimes go too fast. It's all about reading everything in the pace.
Also knocked out of bounds. Are you saying be quick but don't hurry?
Thank you, John Wooden.
John Wooden. It's interesting you talk about the speed because you always say the great ones, the game slows down for them.
Yes.
And they see and assess those things.
Well, we've seen that with Stephen Curry.
Shot clock at 3. And Clay off iron. Brandon Jennings rebound in motion. Clark nearly knocked it away. Both coaches just kind of biding time with these reserve units. Difference is the Warrior reserves are much better. Iguodala the steal, and Andre just couldn't get it to go in as he was fouled. The Warrior bench is 8 of 9.
Warriors foul, shot number 7, Brandon Jennings, second personal.
Iguodala.
Second team foul.
Think of all the great shooters the NBA has since the calendar year. We talked about his March, but the highest effective field goal percentage in the league. DeAndre Jordan, Korver, and then Andre Iguodala. Have yourself a 2017 Geico Advanced Analytics.
This is what I'm talking about. The Warriors got tougher. They got better after Durant went down. They had to stay alive. And he's one of the guys that's done that.
We talked about March. It's the best month Andre has ever had shooting the ball in his career.
And by the way, that doesn't mean, no, that's great, let's leave Durant out and go in the playoffs and everything. Absolutely not. But it's made this group tougher and has taken Andre into another stratosphere.
I believe we said the Warriors reserves would have a huge advantage, and they're plus 16 right now. Brandon Jennings drawing the foul on Ian Clark.
Warriors foul charge, Ian Clark, first personal.
Brandon Jennings took an interesting route to the NBA because he was such a phenomenal high school player. He played professionally in Europe. He didn't go to college. He played as a pro as a teenager, then came back and got drafted. Warriors season ticket priority list at 38,000 and counting. Priority pre-sale access to playoff tickets before the general public. That general public sale Thursday at 2 p.m. Go to Warriors.com or 888-GSW-HOOP.
Not playing as much here. This is 18th game with Washington. Only averaged about 3.5. His first 6 years in the league, he averaged 15 points a game plus. He can score. He can get hot.
David West and Mahinmi were teammates in Indiana.
He's not moving Mahinmi.
Mahinmi's a big man. Bogdanovich, that's his game right there. He can shoot threes. Keep that ball moving. David thought about that three. Shot clock at 7. Ian Clark will bomb away. Barnes couldn't quite tap it. Here comes Jennings, a full head of steam. Got to run Bogdanovich off the line. Barnes did that. Sell out. Don't let him shoot threes. David West sensing the give and go.
He read the play.
Draymond's got deep position. David West has better. What a pass by Draymond Green. Oh, man. You move with Draymond. He and LeBron are the best passing forwards in the game. All attacking inside, making sure he got contact.
Where's now charge? David West, first personal.
Well, defensively before. Let's run this ahead. You'll see a great read by David West. This is going to come back to Jennings up top. Now let's stop it right here. He's going to pass it inside, and he's going to make a cut. But you're going to see David West read it.
Substitution for Washington, number 3, Bradley Beal, and number 5, Markieff Morris.
David West had vision of his man, the cutter as well as the ball. All that experience just stepped right in the passing lane. Iguodala's playing his best basketball. Ian Clark's playing great basketball. David West has been spectacular. Livingston is back shooting the ball well. I mean, the Warrior bench leading to the postseason. It's a really good sign right now. Both free throws down. Sean is 3 of 3. Right on cue, the bench continues their excellence. Ian reached. And Bradley Beal sliding down is okay. Ian's okay.
Well, Beal's 13 points already, first quarter. He led the team with 27. He was one of the bright spots last night, or the night before in Utah.
Warrior lead at 9, and the Wiz hanging around.
Stop by one of Max Muscle's 30 NorCal locations. Mention this ad and receive the 24-hour weight loss solution. Purchase the Emerge HC Daytime Fat Burner and get the QuadraCuts PM Fat Burner free.
Warrior lead at 9. And the reserves providing that advantage are McDonald's true story. The Warriors don't get down that often. But when trailing by 10 or more, it is the Raptors, Spurs, Wizards, and Warriors in terms of comeback victories. And the nicest and most rewarding comeback win of the season occurred this week as the Warriors got down 22 to San Antonio. But they also just random 13-point comebacks against the Rockets, and there's something else.
Well, their defense has been superb. We talked about that in the fourth quarter. Look what Houston shot both games, under 40% both games. 41% San Antonio.
There's only one other team in NBA history that's had multiple 10-game winning streaks each season over 3 seasons. This is 76ers of faux.
So I'm going to finish this point by this. You can have all the greatest defense in the world, but if you can't score at the other end, and the Warriors are blessed, they've got a lot of scorers, and they've got shooters. So you couple it together, it's a nice combination.
Shaun Livingston, 4 of 4. Shaun had that little mini slump as Ian had a little mini slump. And everybody's coming out of it all at the same time. John Wall flipping it up and in. We check in with Roz.
You know, I was just talking with Shaun Livingston about his rhythm. He said, I'm just taking care of my body, and right now my body feels good. I really care about how I feel as opposed to how I play.
Steph trying to get it inside. And Bogdanovich coming away with the ball. I get a kick, Roz and Jim, when Shaun Livingston, who is one of my favorite people in the world, when he says, look out, tonight I feel bouncy. He'll tell you, look out, I feel a little bouncy tonight. And then you know his body's feeling good. And after that significant leg injury, for Shaun, it is maintenance and just energy and take care of himself a lot like Andre.
Well, 31 years old, and that leg injury that he had, he still gets way above the rim. I'm amazed at the way he jumps. It's like a pogo stick.
Wizards starting to clamp down defensively. They forced 9 Warriors turnovers. There is Wall streaking but not finishing. He's upset with himself. He wasn't able to finish the play. And there is bouncy Shaun Livingston.
Now that is impressive.
A little 180 reverse jam.
He caught it facing the other way, but again, illustrates his springy legs, his great hops.
Markieff Morris, a warm-up 3. He's going to knock that down.
All day long if you don't come out at him. I don't know where the defense went. Steve Kerr doesn't either. He wants a timeout.
So 4:15 remaining in the half. Livingston with 10 off the bench. Steph's got 12 to lead the way, but when the Warrior reserves are playing this well, not a lot of teams are going to handle them. Shaun Livingston.
There it is. He's got a headbutt into it. Come on now. Cheer him on, everybody. Ryland, he's got to just make just one off his head. Oh, and he does it. Give it up for
Warriors basketball on NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Cresco, your #1 choice for tool and equipment rental, by Caltrans Stormwater. Keep our highways clean. Protect our water. ProtectEveryDrop.com. By the law offices of Stephen Moskowitz. Aggressive, accessible, experienced tax lawyers. Call Moskowitz LLP at 888-TAX-DEAL.
Warrior lead at 7. Warriors shooting 61% from the field. Washington at 50%. Warrior coverage not over after post-game live on NBC Sports Bay Area. Superfans Drew Schiller and Grant Lippman break down the game on Warriors Outsiders. And then raw footage, raw sound, Warrior basketball as you've never seen it. Warriors Raw after post-game live on NBC Sports Bay Area. They condense the game. They get a lot of Ross's interviews, some post-game reaction from the locker room, and shave it all down into a quality broadcast. So both those shows going in depth on the Dubs. Steph Curry off iron. Barnes trying to keep it alive. Look at Wall, quickest man to the ball.
Yeah, and watch this.
And he just forgot the ball.
He lost it. Iguodala worked his magic.
Barnes to Livingston again, met at the top. Tried to cup jam it. Credit Markieff Morris. That's on the principle of verticality. Went up to contest it without fouling.
That is spectacular action inside. The follow-up attempt dunk. It's contested. You can see how fast Wall is.
Markieff Morris is a good player. He set that screen. He walled off a good defender. He's got 11 now. And Markieff Morris saw the passing lane, knocked it away. Wall.
You think you have him, and he's gone past you. You got to give more ground than you normally would on a player.
7-0 Wizards run. Washington closing the half nicely. Draymond missing. Here comes Otto Porter.
Draymond's mishandled the ball several times tonight.
I'll tell you, Wall, he'll throw a few away. We've seen that tonight.
Yes, he will.
But he just plays at a gear that is amazing to watch in person.
Replacing Sean Livingston.
Livingston will rest. 10 points in 8 minutes, 4 rebounds on 5 of 7 shooting. Sean was excellent.
So you asked me before the game, John Wall, Russell Westbrook. Who do you think's faster? Inline, inline.
Man, I'd like to see that.
I think Wall is.
I think you're right. Klay Thompson dropping it in. I know who looks to pass the ball more.
Yeah, that's the reason. My 7-year-old granddaughter could sense that.
Stella has been breaking down point guards with me, Jim.
You know what? I watched her do a game with her, and it was pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, she observes what's going on.
Last time she asked me why Jan Mahinmi would get $15 million a year. So.
She just saw that a guy got a dunk. She said all the other players were too far out and they couldn't get back.
I like it. I like it.
That's exactly what she said.
If she starts breaking down triple threat position, we'll know for a fact she's your granddaughter.
Okay. The last comment as we watch it. We'll work on Stephen.
Shot clock at 7.
They didn't give the ball up.
Bogdanovich. You got to credit Washington. The Warriors were up 11, and they were having their way, and the Wizards are playing like the elite team that they are.
2 minutes. 2 minutes remaining.
That's a great touch pass by Draymond, and you know Stephen's going to hit that reload 3.
I said it before. Washington's 30 and 12 since January 3rd when they were 16 and 18. 30 and 12.
And that last play, you hear coaches say swing the ball. Draymond did that beautifully.
That's traveling. He took an extra step.
Draymond knocked it away. Iguodala in a foot race. Wall can leap. The trail 3. Yes, sir!
I've never seen a team pass up so many layups to search for a 3, and they come out smelling like a rose.
Well, Steph with 6 made threes. Iguodala, I don't know if he wanted to threaten Wall at the rim, but he knew where Curry was. The floor balance was perfect. And 6 of 8 on threes. Look behind. Where is the MVP? He's right there, and he walks into that triple. So that pass up a layup with that kind of shooter against all fundamentals of basketball, but with Curry, he breaks the game. But Iguodala is in the middle of everything good.
Yeah, and once again, he takes it all the way to the rim, drawing a crowd.
Yep.
So it gives you plenty of time to take a shot. Warriors 9 of 15 from 3. That's the difference. But Washington is still shooting at 52%. They're not out of the woods yet. The defense, right now, they're having to score to keep pace with Washington.
What was nice, though, is that play was initiated by a Draymond steal. And you see in that sequence how connected the Warrior defense is to their offense. It really fuels everything good when they get in rhythm. And Steph is always like shooting threes against the Wizards. So Curry, 18.6 assists. John Wall, 11.7 assists. You've got Beal with 14 and Klay with 7. The backcourt matchup is 25 all, just as we kind of looked at the 2 best backcourts in the league.
It's only about 3 tenths. There's a deflection and a steal.
Steph stealing it from Wall in on Porter, and that'll be goaltended.
There's no way he should touch that ball. That had no chance of going in. But once it hits the backboard and you interfere with it, it is goaltending. This ball was way short.
Great teams know how to finish quarters. Washington had climbed all the way back into it, and I think very quickly the Warriors back up double digits. Beal moving without the ball, just couldn't connect with Markieff Morris. The Warriors are +7 in points off turnovers and shooting at 59%. Scotty Brooks had his team within 3.
Well, they're turning the ball over less this year, but this game they're not.
Oh, Curry reverse! The Houdini left hand!
I thought he was going to put 2 Wizards on the floor. They're coming down on top of him, but he eluded them. That's an offensive charge. Are they going to call a block? Steph Curry right in front. I don't know what he did here. 2 men go up in the air. I think they're going to come down on him, and he eludes them going underneath with the left.
Number 2, John Wall.
Houdini.
Wizards, 2 shots.
That's
Every
something
time he does that.
Well, you don't see other people do that, do you?
No. Every time he does that, I always go back to Jerry West and Rick Barry saying, if we had Steph's left hand, we really could have been something. It's just so funny to hear Rick and Rick and Jerry obviously have amazing opinions of their own games, as they should.
Yes, they should.
Two of the best 15 players have ever played. To acknowledge the greatness of Steph in that regard is really quite the statement.
Rick had, his left hand wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Jerry West had no left hand.
Yeah. Well, Jerry's very self-deprecating about it.
Neither did the commentator who's talking now either.
You're very honest about that, too. Steph missing and Markieff Morris running it back.
He was so good with the right hand, though, you didn't need it.
There you go.
A little truth in that. Lenny Wilkins was left-handed.
He could go left against anyone.
Yes, and he wouldn't go right, but you didn't know when he was going left. He was so quick, he'd still get by him.
Shot clock is off. Very entertaining first half. Barnes with the screen. They know Steph wants to close the quarter. There's only 3 seconds left. They get it to Draymond, and he went up for the dunk. It was fouled. Steph and Clay know without Durant the attention they're getting.
Sure.
And so that was great reaction from Clay in the Draymond roll.
A 2-man jump at Klay Thompson, so he gave up to a all-alone Draymond Green from the weak side, Kelly Oubre Jr. Got him.
Free throw in. So CSN is now NBC Sports Bay Area, powered by Xfinity. So you'll be hearing that a lot on Warrior and Giants broadcasts. We made it through the whole first half without mentioning the Giants bullpen.
Stephen Curry.
We won't be mentioning it a lot on KNBR tomorrow during the Fitz and Brooks show. Man. Bumgarner becomes first pitcher ever on opening day to hit 2 home runs. Giants have a lead going into the 9th. 30 blown saves last year, and they blow one already. That's not good. Sorry.
Yep.
Final second of the first half. 10-point lead at the break. Warrior Rouse Gold on Wood A caught up with Warrior assistant Jaron Collins.
Coach, you're getting so much out of your veterans, out of your bench. How do you anticipate that helps you to finish the end of the regular season?
Well, look, I mean, obviously we're competing for the #1 spot. Ideally, as the games go on, if we have that wrapped up, then we're going to use our depth to our advantage.
And what about Steph? You know, it starts with him often. He's got 22 points, 6 assists, only 1 turnover. It's only the first half. But during this win streak, I mean, what are you most impressed about with Steph?
He's just locked in, especially on the offensive end. His shot, his movement off the ball. You know, he's tough to defend out there. But really on the defensive end as well, he's providing energy. But Steph and all of us need to defend without fouling. And we're going to be put to the test in the second half.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Ross.
Defend without fouling. That's easier said than done against John Wall. You mentioned points off turnovers, Jim. In that second quarter, the Warriors had 32 points. 13 were off of Washington turnovers.
Yes.
So when they did get stops, they're able to run it down their throat.
Klay Thompson, man with the ball right now, has got to get going this half if the Warriors are to win.
And he hits the 3 right on cue. We also, as the third quarter begins, we should reference an ugly moment that happened at halftime, and that was James Michael McAdoo coming over and rubbing the North Carolina victory into Jim Barnett's Oregon face, and I had a tough time witnessing it. I'm just telling you that right now.
No, don't mislead people. As
James is the nicest guy ever.
Porter, who had been the hottest 3-point shooter the first half of the season at 47%, knocks that down. No, he was very courteous about it. He said, "Are you okay? Yeah, you okay with it? Just check it." And I told him, that front line's too big for Oregon. Meeks is too big and too good.
That one off the hands of Zaza. Otto Porter streaking to the iron, drawing the foul and laying it in. You used the phrase thoroughbred with John Wall. Scott Brooks has the Wizards playing at a tempo that we haven't seen in recent vintage.
Well, this Otto Porter, now in his 4th year, he was the 3rd overall pick. People tend to overlook that. And he's got skills inside and out.
Well, just in terms of points scored, the Wizards starters have outscored the Warriors starters. The advantage is the bench, which is why the Warriors have the lead.
That's why I think Klay Thompson has to get going here, keep pace. Wheel and Wall with 27 between them.
And Klay hit 1 3, make it 2. You and Steve Kerr think a lot alike. I think that's an emphasis coming out here in the third. Gortat on that roll. Draymond was there. He's called for the foul, but it was the right rotation.
Warriors foul charge. Draymond Green, second personal, second team foul.
What they call the little pocket pass on the bounce. He got hit on the wrist. Gortat, as I mentioned, averaging a double-double, second time in his career. Did it back 5 years ago.
Giving that free throw out. Well, our first look at Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins as the Pelicans come to Oracle on Saturday. It's a Saturday slate night presented by DraftKings. You could be here at 888-GSW-HOOP and press 1. I will say that Steve Kerr ruled out Kevin Durant playing in the next 3 games, including tonight. But medical staff has not ruled out Durant for the rest of the regular season. So keep an eye on the last couple games the Warriors play.
I just wait to hear the news. You're telling me he's not playing this week at all?
He will not play tonight, Minnesota, or at Phoenix.
Really? Okay.
McCaw is fouled.
They're being extra cautious with Kevin Durant then.
Let me reiterate, the Pelicans game, though, is next Saturday.
Patrick McCaw at the line doing shooting.
So Patrick McCaw, I love when Pat is slashing to the basket because you identified it earlier in his rookie year. He's become a pretty proficient three-point shooter, probably better than we thought he would have. But the athleticism, when we see glimpses of it, it kind of makes you want more. And he can get more out of his game.
He's come into a difficult situation.
He really has.
Okay, he's starting now in the place of Durant, but he's playing with the 2-time MVP. He's playing with Klay Thompson, these all-stars, and Draymond Green. There's a lot of pressure on him, I think, psychologically. He doesn't want to make mistakes. He doesn't want to try to do too much.
What a steal by Klay. He just took that pass away from Bradley Beal and tried to throw it in. And there's McCaw slashing to the basket.
There we go. He can do that much more often, and I'm glad he took advantage there. Pretty fluid going to the hoop.
Order cutting without the ball.
You know, I said this earlier in the year. McCaw's supposed to be a good defender. They like that aspect. He doesn't always keep sight of the ball.
Yeah.
He has to see the ball there. They won't make that pass. You're running with your man. You have to look at the ball.
College, you get away with it. Not at this level. Curry, 3. Wow.
He is on target tonight.
300 made threes. 7 of 10 on threes tonight. He's got 25. Wall's got 13. And they've guarded each other all night. You got to be careful with Porter at 44%, missing that 3. Draymond surveying. Wall knew, hey, these guys shoot trail threes.
They shoot any threes.
That's right.
Trail, hurried, late.
Steph, it's not a 3, so that elbow jumper was off.
I'll tell you one thing, Bradley Beal has improved his ball handling
A lot.
and he is getting to the rim a lot more.
He does it right on cue. Hey, he's a different player. When we saw him in Washington, remember they sat Wall and he ran the team for a while?
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. He's continuing to get better. Plus, he's been healthy.
Well, that's a big thing for him.
Zaza with a wing jumper. So Pachulia's got 6 points and 4 boards in only 12 minutes. Draymond's got 10 assists. He's getting into triple-double territory with 6, 10, and 8 tonight.
These 5 starters have only missed a combined 10 games this year.
Yep.
They've been healthy. That's one reason they're good.
Draymond was there again. Draymond rotated nicely. Porter comes up with a rebound. There's no reset of the shot clock. And Klay knocking it out of bounds. 24-second violation. Draymond will get nothing in the stat sheet other than brilliant help defense. And that blew that play up for Washington. And Gortat throwing Pachulia to the ground. It was Gortat throwing Pachulia to the ground when Zaza's head hit Kevin Durant's knee.
And he came over and apologized to Kevin Durant before the game. Yeah, this just rips him down. It was an accident. That's exactly the way he got hurt, falling back in to Kevin Durant.
Klay Thompson dropping that in and drawing the foul. I want to expand on just what you said, Jim. It happened right in front of us. Marcin Gortat came over, said, hey, you know, sorry about that injury. He had nothing, you know, it's basketball. I mean, he's wrestling with Pachulia. Pachulia fell, totally accidental. But what a class move for Gortat to come over like, hey, how you doing? When you coming back? I'm just sorry that play happened. That was really a nice gesture by Marcin Gortat.
Yes, it was. And of course, Kevin didn't expect it, and of course, he's going to absorb that and say, no hard feelings at all.
Kevin was like, no, don't worry about it. But there's got to be that camaraderie and respect within the game. I like that moment. And Steph,
I know this. If I'd ever done that against a guy like Gortat, I might send him little apology notes for about a month.
Well, you know, his family, he comes from a family of boxers in Poland.
I know.
But I think his proboscis kept him out of the ring. He's a big target. And Bradley Beal hits the jumper.
He was fouled on the wrist. I can't believe he stayed with it.
Zaza stopped and got the foul to let Gortat fly into him. And free throws coming.
I said, though, I think he's just as effective from 10 or 12 feet as he is from 2.
But, you know, Pachulia's beaten Gortat down the floor a bunch of times tonight.
Yes.
And the Warriors are watching that and rewarding him for running. 7:22 remaining in the third. 300 threes. Second best all time.
All right, Dub Nation, some nice dancing here. I need your help now. This is where you help us vote for the winner. Is it Marcus? All right, is it Sim? All right, congratulations. What Klondike Bars for your entire row, section 110, row 5. You guys will all be enjoying Klondike Bars. Hey, Sim, Aaron, to go with you two for Klondike.
Oh, that is bad news for the Sharks. Jumbo Joe, and hopefully it is not as serious as that looked. But the backcourt battle, we promised a good one, and these 4 players have delivered. And you said it really at halftime, Jim. The Warriors have had to be locked in offensively because Washington's having a game in their own right.
They've got to play at their best to beat this team.
Julia dropping in the free throw. The Warriors are #1 in field goal percentage defense. And the Wizards are shooting 54% and put up 70. But that's why I asked you at halftime. It's not lack of Warrior effort. It's excellence by Washington shooting the ball.
Yeah, their only nemesis today is turning the ball over, and the Warriors are capitalizing on that. I mean, they've already given up 25 points off their turnovers.
Warriors are +11 in points off turnovers, and significant reason they're up 17. Getting a kick out of Wall and Curry. And Draymond saved the day.
The Wall respects him defensively so much, he just rushed that shot. He wanted to get it up there before Draymond had a chance at a block.
Deflected away, but a foul. All the advanced metrics of Draymond defensively against Houston in the 4th quarter, he just won the game. Our friend Doug Collins had a nice comment.
Yes.
Where he said, I was voting for Kawhi Leonard for Defensive Player of the Year.
Really?
After watching Draymond Green, I'm voting for him. And there's very few people I respect in the game more than Doug. That was excellent. Klay Thompson hitting the 3.
Getting deeper and deeper.
3 threes in the 3rd for Klay. He's got 19.
I know your response to Doug, what it should have been. What took you so long?
No, I don't say that to Doug. You know that. 10-point lead at the half. Doubled up here. Midway through the 3rd. McAdoo's first playing time. Look at Wall with the steal. Now, that was a be quick and don't hurry. Wall made sure McCaw had to play him and waited for Porto to fill the lane.
He went 100% from the steal up past the half-court line. And then once he got to the 3-point line, just slow down a little bit, get control.
McCaw 3, and just rimmed out.
Most of his shots are either long or short. That's a good miss. I like that.
Wall taking the defense, back out to Porter. John Wall is a real point guard. 13 points, 11 assists. He's 4 of 8 from the field.
is becoming an all-around versatile point guard.
Draymond will draw the foul.
Williams foul charge, number 12, Kelly Oubre.
Lightning speed, John Wall, and he's not afraid of anything.
Draymond Green.
Draymond,
He'll be shooting.
you can't play James Harden twice in a week and not learn how to do that. So he just went into Oubre and got to the line.
So he picks up offensive moves
That's it.
from the opposition.
Hey, this seems to work for this guy. Check out the Warriors online team store. And tonight's item of the game, the crossover jersey. Buy one, get one free while supplies last. Available only tonight at Warriors.com. Check out WarriorsTeamStore.com. And Draymond knocking in both free throws. 8 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds, and closer and closer to the triple-double.
John Wall sees Draymond Green goes the other way.
Picked up the dribble, shot clock at 7. Shot clock down to 3. And Wall will launch a 3. That's still not his strength yet. And we got a rebounding foul on the Warriors. I mean, Wall's 31%. He's got to get it, 35, 36. Just like Mike Conley improved his three-point shooting. If Wall continues on that trajectory, he'll be unguardable. Draymond will sit. Excellent effort for 25 minutes.
Wall been on the all-defensive team twice, by the way.
Iguodala ran Markieff Morris off that line. And Clay. Finally a missed 3, and you better get back. Here comes Wall. All the way to not be able to finish. McAdoo with the rebound. Warriors want to run it back.
Wall doesn't have all the nuances that Curry has around the basket. All the little spin moves, using the backboard, using the rim.
That pass deflected. Wall will pick it up. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned Bradley Beal's improved his ball handling. You said if you want to get better on moves, you play one-on-one. For ball handling, is that just all drills? And like Steph does the 2-ball drill? Like, how would you improve your ball handling as an NBA guy?
Yeah, it helps. Yeah, a lot of drills. And then, but still playing one-on-one, you improve your short handle on those things.
Okay. Because Beal's he's almost a different player. And McAdoo's sending Oubre away, but called for the foul.
You've got to learn how to handle the ball being defended and being able to beat somebody.
Okay.
And that's what Beal has been doing. Well,
Oubre Jr.
You can see why they picked him with the number 15 pick a year ago.
Crowd
1 year at Kansas.
Crowd did not like that call.
Didn't get a lot of minutes as a rookie last year, but he's been pretty good this year in limited time.
Well, they want him to follow the trajectory of Otto Porter.
Okay.
It took Porter a couple years, and
he's certainly not a three-point shooter yet.
Nope.
Porter is.
But just to improve as a younger guy, to add to Wall and Beal as they build this Washington foundation. Hung with Steph for a little while, and then he flipped it in and drew the foul.
As I said, he has all the little nuances, all the little tricks. He can beat you so many different ways. Backs up, takes a little dribble there, but he releases. No one expected him to release that shot. They think he's going to try it off the backboard. He shot it straight to the rim.
And
that's not easy to do.
To pick up on our ball handling discussion, you have to be able to handle the ball while you're being guarded. Steph does that like breathing with either hand.
And when you do that, you've got to get the dribble a lot lower than you think. His hands are reaching in there very quickly.
Stephen with 28. Ball unable to finish there. Livingston batted away. McAdoo strong rebound. Play to the line. His 3 rimmed out.
They finish one. He's going to get free throw line again. Wall's 4 for 11, and you've seen him miss at least 3 driving layups that you think he's going to complete. He's got 11 assists tonight.
You know what Wall does? He did it on this play. He goes to midcourt to receive the outlet pass.
Yes.
Remember how some point guards go all the way back?
Most point guards.
Wall initiates a lot of breaks by his positioning on where he waits, and the outlet passers for the Wizards find him nicely. The authentic fan home CSN has now become NBC Sports Bay Area, powered by Xfinity.
I always say take up the slack. If your defender's behind you, and he's 30 feet from behind you, take up the slack there and make him only 10 feet from you.
Okay.
So you take a longer outlet. I don't know why people, I don't know what it is about players today. I see it in college. They go back to get the ball. Throw it as far as you can. You can move the ball faster on a pass.
Oh, Stephen Curry! That's the play of the night! Through the Wizards, reverse, hang, and spin it home. Oh.
That reverse spin, so he keeps it on the rim. It keeps it on the rim and keeps it in the cylinder, basically.
He's got 30. And Beal double dribble. You got to be kidding me on this play.
See, he shoots this from way down low. Watch how far. It's not even shoulder high when he releases that ball. The reason is he had to jump a long way. So he's almost landing. He's coming down as he's shooting the ball.
That's a special night. He's 11 of 16. Make it 12 of 17. A Curry flurry. And the Human Torch is back.
They're up by 22 now all of a sudden.
He has taken the John Wall challenge. And a little reminder on who's the back-to-back MVP. Oubre Jr. missing out of the corner. Draymond will push. Curry has been that hot, but Draymond, he saw the lane, and he will draw the foul. This was a 10-point game at the half. The Warriors have pushed it to 22, and Stephen Curry, 11 of his 33 here in the third, and 8 made threes tonight.
Welcome back to Oracle Arena. Warriors up big on the Wizards. Today is World Autism Awareness Day, and the NBA is lighting it up blue. In tonight's Forward Right Choice, we highlight how NBA arenas will be lit up blue, joining iconic landmarks like hotels, concert halls, museums, schools, and thousands of homes in support of the Autism Speaks Light It Up Blue campaign. And it's helping to bring awareness and funding for research and solutions benefiting the 70 million people affected by autism worldwide. Guys?
You can check out all the information at NBAcares.com. The coaches, Jim and I, are also wearing puzzle pieces for autism awareness. We'll continue to do so. You wanted Steph and Klay to really jump out in third, Jim. How about 8 of 12 shooting, 23 points between them on 5 of 7 on threes?
Well, the backcourt scoring was in favor of the Warriors, 29-27 from the starters in the first half. They've outscored them 23-6 in this quarter alone.
Yeah, 52-33 for the game now. If you're Washington, you have to look up and say, wasn't this an 8 or 10-point game? What happened? Bradley Beal hitting the mid-range. Elite offensive performance by the Warriors. Washington's been very good in their own right. The Warriors are just better.
Wall only 2 points this quarter. Missed all 4 of his shots.
Iguodala short on that 3. Bogdanovich leaking out. Just couldn't collect it cleanly. Bradley Beal, that's a nice pass. That's the growth for Bradley Beal right there.
Oh, Bogdanovich, he says, I don't want to lay up. I'm going to be like the Warriors. I'm going to go get a 3.
Okay. Bogdanovich, double digits off the bench. He's got 10. Steph finally misses. JaVale McGee, the rebound. He had traveled before he went back up. Mahinmi able to get to the rim.
Not a big offensive threat, but looked pretty good on that one. McGee thought he had a block. Didn't quite get there.
5 Wizards in double-figure scoring. Only 3 Warriors, but Steph's 33. And Mahinmi fouling him there.
You see how Steph Curry dashes between 2 men? If you get a chance to look at this, he pushes the ball ahead and then runs to the ball. He chases down his own dribble. And it's a little clever move that a lot of people haven't used. But I know a few scorers in the past that knew how to do that.
I'm sitting next to one of them.
I mean real scorers.
Okay.
Nate Archibald, 34 a game. He was the best ever at it.
Warrior playoff tickets go on sale to the general public on Thursday at 2, but if you're a Warrior insider, get access to ticket pre-sales for round 1 of the playoffs at warriors.com/insider before the general public. And Curry dropping in both free throws. They forgot about Bogdanović. That's a problem. He's a quality three-point shooter. 3 of 3 on threes. After Steph made those free throws, that's a little lapse. Curry push shot. Have yourself a monster quarter. 15 of his 37 here in the third. There's Beal getting to the rim. JaVale bothered him on that. Jennings will set up Oubre Jr. His 3 is rounded out. Livingston all the way from Jennings. Oh, Sean. 12 points on 6 of 8 shooting. Beautiful bench performance. Shot clock off, and the Wizards will play for 1. Down to 3. Bogdanović again in the corner, this time well defended by Livingston. So the 10-point lead at the end of 3 grows to 18 heading into the 4th. Curry with 15 of his 37 left-handed. Steph right-handed. And 8 threes tonight.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
Hashtag. Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Hashtag when Dre was in the best shape of his life.
Hashtag Ashy Knees. Hashtag Ashy Knees. Hashtag this would be a great lotion endorsement. Hashtag where's the lotion?
Beginning the 4th with our Toyota game summary. The Wizards have 2 30-point quarters, and they're still down 18 because the Warriors have been that magnificent offensively throughout the ball game. Trey Jr. flat on that 3. Ian Clark, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, David West, and Matt Barnes. Jan Mahinmi, Bojan Bogdanović, Thomas Satoransky, Kelly Oubre Jr. and Brandon Jennings.
Yeah, the Warriors score a lot in that quarter. In fact, the whole game gives them more shots for Wizards to retaliate, and both teams turn the ball over numerous times. So Warriors get a 39-point quarter. How about this? 35, 32, 39.
Yeah.
And they're shooting now better than they've ever been, 60%. But the backcourt, starting backcourt, 27 in that quarter. Klay with 12, Stephen Curry with 15.
Got a violation on that jump ball.
Curry's just in a different zone tonight. We noticed it in the first quarter.
37 points, 8 assists, 13 of 19 shooting.
Only 1 turnover. 1 turnover.
To go with the 8 assists. And that's as good a ratio as you'd want.
It's a dream ratio.
Danny's held John Wall 4 of 11 shooting because he's guarded him most of the night. Oubre Jr., nice finish with the left hand.
Obviously, career highs in everything this year for him.
Klay Thompson will fly by and is firing on the 3. Now the Warriors won't get casual, but you watch Washington. They got enough firepower to make a push. The Warriors have led this game by 22. It's down to 13 right now. There's an eternity left in an NBA game with over 10 minutes.
I told you earlier that Washington, I'm sure they play a lot of possessions. They don't even know the score. They just play.
And Barnes missing that 3.
Yep, things are going Washington's way here in the early going.
And Ian thought that Jennings would pull up. He didn't retreat. He went and contested. That's good awareness. Jennings had hit 1 3 and was trying to heat check himself in transition.
Yeah, never a great idea, though, to program in that I'm going to do this no matter what.
Right.
Well, there's the miscommunication, unusual between David West and Ian Clark.
Yeah, that almost never happens. David West and Barnes knocking that away. Everybody thought Bogdanovich hit it last. And JT Orr, Derek Collins will get together.
Well, I think they could change this.
They did. Good teamwork among the crew. If you watch a lot of NBA basketball, the players will tell you who it's off of because they'll start walking the other way. If the officials watch that, they'll get the call right. Just watch all the guys on the floor. They know who touched it last.
Don't look at the hand gestures of the people that are involved in it. They kind of fib.
That's true. Klay Thompson misfiring. Finish that with the left. Jennings, quickness, but just off iron. Yep. Ricocheted off 3 feet.
Yeah, it was not a kick, though.
Oubre will get to the line.
I like the way he attacks the basket. This young man. He does exactly what I think you should do in those situations.
You mentioned 15th pick a year ago out of Kansas. Good size at 6'7", 205 for small forward.
Traded on draft night to Washington. Atlanta picked him.
Karl Anthony Towns and the T-Wolves, presented by Exxon Mobil on Tuesday. There's a dual event on Tuesday, so arrive early at 888 GSW Hoop. You know, parking will be a little stressed. Give yourself plenty of time to be here Tuesday. And Karl Anthony Towns is worth the price of admission. That's one of the best young bigs in the league.
He is really talented, isn't he? He can do everything. You can start him with the ball at the three-point line. He'd make something happen to do it.
Shot clock at 4. David's got to create, and he does just in time, but can't finish. So the 22-point lead down to 12, and Satoransky makes it a 10-point game. And Steve Kerr's got to take a timeout. 18 heading into the 4th, and the first 8 going Wizards' way.
On 3, 2.
Warrior lead trimmed to 10 after they had pushed it as high as 22. Our Dodge shots of the game really reflect the brilliance of Stephen Curry. He has 8 made threes, but the sleight of hand in finishing around the rim, the usage of the ball handling, the speed, and the clever ability to get inside among the trees, just absolutely on display tonight with our Dodge shots of the game.
Is there anybody better around the basket in the league than Stephen Curry? And when you consider his size and what he can do with it?
No. We always
unbelievable.
We highlight his layup percentage. He's on that list with DeAndre Jordan and LeBron and those type of players.
And he makes difficult layup attempts look easy. They're not.
The Warriors have to take a lid off the basket here. You have to score in the 4th quarter. Ian weaving around. Barnes a 3. And they're still 0 for. So after all that great shooting, they've opened 0 for 6 here in the 4th.
A little precarious.
Oubre Jr. point blank. And Iguodala had the rebound and draws the foul. That was a big trip right there. Washington has all the momentum. And Andre came up with the stop and got the board. Which guy in blue can get this first bucket of the 4th? Clay?
Pretty good choice.
Right on cue. So the Warrior backcourt 58-35, the advantage over Wall and Beal. Bogdanovich, he's been great tonight. 16 points on 6 shots.
He got 16 last time the Warriors played him.
No, it's exactly why they acquired him. He's filling that role perfectly. They don't have a bench scorer. David West.
Big hoop from him there. Good answer.
Bogdanovich again. And David West knocking that out of bounds.
That's smart. He had 2 men he was fighting. So he said, why just do this? We'll regroup. I'll knock it out of bounds. I can't get the rebound, but I'm not going to let them get it.
Draymond Green checking in. Bogdanovich will get to the line. He was sandwiched there.
Warriors foul.
West and Iguodala.
David West. Second personal, 13 foul.
Warriors also have committed 3 team fouls here. Washington only 1. So Bojan Bogdanovich played for KK Sabona in Croatia. Bosnia-Herzegovinian by nationality. He was a second-round pick in 2011, traded mid-season. And after the Warriors had that significant bench advantage, the Wizards reserves have tied things at 32, primarily because Bogdanovich has 18 of that 33 now.
Steve Kerr's not panicking. And neither are the Warriors.
Right to the rim. All that weave up top and the spacing inside.
They just opened up the whole lane and Clay said, oh, okay, I think I can beat my man and I'm home free. Jennings will hunt shots and shoot. He can shoot you in or he can shoot you out.
David West, careful there. Bogdanovich will commit the foul, and it would not be the gentleman you would want to incite.
Second personal. Second team foul.
If there was an altercation, Bogdanovich would have David West look at him, and it would be over.
I think he would have loved to play in the 60s and 70s.
Well,
they let him go.
Put it this way. How many seasons of NBA basketball have you been involved in?
Oh, my goodness. Well, 50.
Okay. There's real tough guys, and there's plenty of fake tough guys.
Yeah,
that guy is a real tough guy.
Yes, he is real.
And you don't want to find out. All you have to do is talk to his teammates and the opponents.
Sometimes people find out without any pre-knowledge of that, and they get surprised. They're used to anyway.
There you go. Mahinmi out the Satoransky delivery.
That might be the best move I've ever seen him make. Best finish.
Dallas to Indiana to Washington, the big free agent deal for Ian Mahinmi. He shows glimpses every once in a while. Draymond misfiring there.
He's hunting.
Bogdanovich is slipped.
I don't know what believes in the shoes, folks, but it is.
It wasn't just because David West stared at him and he fell down.
Catch an edge.
West knocked it away. Bogdanovich knocked it out of bounds.
As I said, he was hunting. So he was not going to give that one up.
There's nobody in Croatia like David West. So 6:09 left. Working on that 11-point lead. Steph is at the scorers table.
I've been to Croatia. There might be a few over there. Okay, I've been there.
Work with me, Jim. I'm selling the narrative.
I've been to Split. Right on the water there.
No, there's a lot of tough people in Croatia that play basketball. Great addition to the NBA game. Drazen Petrovic and Kukoc. David West dropping in the elbow jumper. 13-point lead. David with 8-2-2. There are fake tough guys, real tough guys, and real tough guys that are real good. Tuesday, but the last 6 home games against Minnesota, Stephen Curry has played exceptionally well, and based on his performance tonight, he could have a little something for the Timberwolves in store.
Stephen Curry, back on the
37
floor.
points in 30 minutes, 13 of 19 shooting, 8 of 12 on threes, 8 assists, and 1 turnover for Stephen as he checks back in. Ray Jr. in the kind role. He's got 6. So Curry back in with Matt Barnes, Livingston, David West, and Draymond.
All right, now's the time. They've got to put the hammer down and finish this thing. This is not over yet. I like it here.
Missing, Barnes keeping it alive. Bogdanovich, Satoransky, Jennings, and Mahimi and Oubre have kind of led the comeback. When does Wall and Beal reappear? Satoransky.
He got finally a matchup that he wanted. Green just absolutely shut him down when he went that way, and they switched on it, and they had an advantage and took it.
Scott Brooks got to be really pleased that the Wizards bench has played so well. Livingston from Draymond.
What a great cut. This is a great cut from up top.
Opportunity for the three-point play. How did Sean know when to cut?
Because there was no, when the pass came inside under the basket, there was no room to operate, so he knew he had to bail out the man who was holding the ball at that time.
He knew Draymond was in jeopardy?
Yep. There were too many men there, so he said, you know what? I think I can help him out and score in the meantime. Draymond will find me.
Livingston's got 15. Donovan shooting it long, and Draymond with a rebound. One more bucket. Draymond's got a triple-double. Livingston's been amazing. Sean is lively tonight.
The life in his legs.
37 for Curry, 23 for Clay, 17 for Sean Livingston.
It's a beautiful rim run.
Run the floor. Draymond will find you, and the lead back to 14. Our Xfinity player of the game, Stephen Curry, simply spectacular. Matched up with John Wall tonight. 37 points, 8 assists, 8 of 13 on threes. Magical finishes inside. Our Xfinity player of the game. Jim noted it right from the first quarter on. Steph had something special ready. And these are the 3 greatest seasons in terms of threes made. 402 a year ago, the record. 301. Getting that done tonight, and he's not done with the season.
Yeah, he got to 300 early last year. He's been playing really well the last couple of weeks, Stephen Curry. You know, when he led the league in scoring last year, over 30 a game. but he also didn't shoot over 50% as David West is going to go to the line for 2.
Well, he was a 50, 40, 90 player.
Yep.
Joined that exclusive club.
Yeah, 45.4 from three-point range. And amazing to make 402. You take that many shots. And by the way, he's the first scoring champ to ever shoot 50, 40, 90. 8th player in NBA history, but that means he's taken lots of shots and everything. So usually you don't shoot as well. But what he did last year, you can see why he was a unanimous MVP.
Well, the thing people have to realize, last year was so special that Curry, 45% three-point shooting, he's at 40% this year. When Ted Williams hit 406, the next year he hit 350. Okay?
Yeah.
350 still phenomenal.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Steph Curry's still phenomenal. He just had the magical year last season. People just have to realize that. Anybody else wakes up with Curry's season, they'd be the happiest player ever.
Had that little bad stretch there for 7 games, but he's picked it up since.
Ray Jr. missing. Now Draymond is 1 bucket away from a triple-double. And it'd be nice if he was able to get it. He's 5th of the season, 19th of his career. Never lost when Draymond has gotten a triple-double. And Mahimi, look at Matt Barnes earn it. You know, tonight we'll finish the Eastern Conference portion of the Warriors schedule too, Jim. And if the Warriors hold on and win this, they'll go 25-5 against the East.
Okay. Well, they had a 22-point lead. You got 3.5 minutes to go. If Barnes can cash in these 2, it'll be a little comfortable. They got back to single digits, but that's what good teams will do. And good teams then can fend them off, and the Warriors have done that in the 4th quarter. Got a little precarious, but then they do what they have to do to maintain the lead and not make it close at the end where Washington has a chance to win. That's what your goal is. You want to win the game and want to control it.
I mean, the Wizards 49% shooting, 42% on threes, 111 points. They're very pleased, except the Warriors are just that good.
Yes.
57% shooting. Bogdanovich. Livingston grabbing that rebound.
Bogdanovich has had a good game.
20. And they get Draymond a bucket. 3 minutes to do it. John Mahimi will not be able to stay with Steph. That's not going to happen.
He just dances to a 3.
For Curry, 26 times he's had 40 or more in a game. Mahimi scoring inside.
I'm not sure. Are they aware that he's 1 basket shy of a triple-double? They may not be aware of it.
Ball hopping around nicely. Barnes 3. David West, how'd he get that rebound?
Draymond, he knows it.
Draymond for the triple-double. Reamed it out. He had a look there.
He was aware of it. That's pretty evident.
Get Draymond a basket. Jennings quickly to the other. 2:07 left, up 13. And so for the Warriors, they have done a lot of amazing things over the last 3 years. But 5 straight playoff opponents will go down in 1 week. And for Steph Curry, 9 of 14 on threes and 40 points. Well, think of the Warriors having lost 5 of 7 when Durant went out, beginning with this Washington game. To bounce back and win 11 in a row. To beat 5 straight playoff teams in 1 week. I mean, Jim, you know, they talk about statements. Can you play any better?
Well, when you get a disaster, you're challenged, and they've met the challenge, and that's what it's made them tougher. It's made them better. They'll be even better when Kevin Durant does come back. But I love what Steph Curry's been doing the last 2 weeks. He gets another 40-point game here. He is coming on strong at the right time.
And we've highlighted Iguodala. We've highlighted David West this amazing week. Sean Livingston also joined the party. Greg likes to say the 3 wise men. Livingston, 17 points, a season high, 8 of 10 shooting. And for the Warriors, this has just been a week that will be remembered. No one's going to forget that Spurs game for sure. But to beat Houston twice, to beat Memphis, take care of San Antonio, and finish off with Washington. There's no team in the league that could have won these 5 games. And oh, by the way, arguably your best player, along with Curry, wasn't around for any of it. David a season high against San Antonio. Sean a season high against Washington. Iguodala the best shooting month of his career. And the Warrior bench brigade is getting ready for the postseason.
Washington checking the game first time tonight, number 32, Daniel Oshafu. 2 minutes remaining.
Draymond. Can't get it there. JaVale, no. JaVale, yes.
It's been his first 4.5 years in Washington, so it feels pretty good.
Brandon Jennings wide left there. McGee with a block.
Post up, Draymond. Post him up. He's got
Brandon Jennings on him.
Exactly.
Got it now. They double team. Shot clock at 7. Oh, Curry makes that. Come on.
It's his night.
Just stop.
He owns the court.
Is it fair to be that good? He's got 42.
67% shooting.
15 of 22. Well, the entertainment value of all of them have been amazing. Great block by Draymond. Draymond on Bogdanovic.
Well, they let him go with it.
Get that basket. He throws the lob. He's always going to play the right way. 13 assists for Draymond Green.
I like it. He just made a little personal sacrifice that pays dividends in the long run.
Magic number's going to go down to 3. Combination of Warrior wins and Spurs losses to clinch the 1 seed. Win number 63. 11 in a row. And Draymond, triple-double! There it is. 11, 12, and 13. And they're undefeated in his career when he gets the triple-double. They've done it 19 times. Barnes the block. Bale going to back it out here. Can't quite run it down with a 2-second difference.
And I know you don't want to rub it in, but I hate another turnover. I'd like to see him take a shot.
JaVale's going to shoot a 3 and be fouled.
Oh, no. How did they do that? Okay, this is a discussion. See, Washington's overreacting here. They are saying, you know, you're trying to show us up. You know what? Sorry. If we didn't have a shot clock, if that weren't in play, yeah, maybe so. But it was going to be a turnover because of the time between the shot clock and game clock.
Yeah, Steph went over to just kind of say that.
Yeah, Brandon Jennings just pushed him. He didn't like it, but you know what? I don't think Steve Kerr and the rest of the guys like another turnover.
They actually have to go to replay to see if it was a 3 or not a 3. I mean, it's just the officials get graded on these calls, so they have to go through protocol, even though the game has been decided. And Steph just went over to say exactly what you just said, Jim. Hey, we had to shoot the ball. We're not just going to take a turnover.
Right.
And that's kind of what he's explaining. He's just, nobody's mad at anybody. We're not trying to do anything unsportsmanlike. We had to shoot it, or it just would have been a turnover. JaVale shot the 3, and everybody's all right. Ron Adams, very proud of his pupil right there, telling Draymond, with your defense, that passing, that triple-double, and that's why we win.
Haven't you known Ron Adams in the last couple of weeks? Haven't you seen that he's in a better mood, a little more smiling?
Oh, that's
because of that defense.
The defensive professor is grading all the exams, and he's been very pleased. So this is going to be a flagrant foul. And the reason it's a flagrant foul is that a two-hand chest push is unnecessary contact. It's just unnecessary contact. You just don't play basketball that way. And so 3 free throws and possession of the ball. And everybody's all right. And JaVale's going to shoot 3 free throws.
Yeah, here's where you wish they wouldn't even review it. Just shoot the free throws.
While we have 3 free throws, just give me a quick assessment. Washington, Cleveland, Boston. We've seen the elite teams in the East. What do you think?
I'm not sure Cleveland's defense is going to hold up.
Okay.
Boston, they could be a little erratic. They've got 50 wins now. And Washington they're careless with the ball a lot. They only average 14 turnovers and stuff, but I'm not sure they have enough three-point punch.
Okay. I think if Bogdanovich plays like this, Washington starters can play with anybody. I think their starting 5 is pretty solid.
I agree.
It's just in the playoffs.
It's a good trade for him.
Yeah, Bogdanovich, or we've seen a little Brandon Jennings. Oubre Jr. will be a key part. You have to have something more than just your starters in the postseason.
And they've got Scotty Brooks. Okay, that's going to give him a nice advantage too. Yep. He knows how to coach.
So Scotty Brooks going to use a timeout here, and this is all just to discuss this last little play with 6 seconds left. Warriors going to win their 11th in a row in about 6 seconds. Draymond Green, 5th triple-double of the season, 19th of his career. Warriors undefeated when he gets a triple-double. 11 points, 13 assists, 12 rebounds, the usual phenomenal defense. And happy for Draymond that he made that 3 to get the triple-double. He does a lot of the dirty work and a lot of thankless tasks. And he is a reason why the Warriors win so often. And
without question,
that's just a first 3 seasons, 1 triple-double. The last 2, 18 of them. And he and LeBron James are the 2 best passing forwards in the NBA, and that guy's your defensive player of the year.
I don't think there's any question that is going to transpire, Bob, this year.
And that will do it for the final 6 seconds. And the Golden State Warriors move to 63-14. Wizards go to 46-31. And the magic number is 3. Minnesota on Tuesday at Phoenix, New Orleans, Utah, and the Lakers. Greg, it was a good one. The winning streak continues, and Curry was magnificent.
His leading scorers, first for the visiting Washington Wizards, Markieff Morris with 13. Also second with 13 points, Otto Porter. John Wall with
Another level.
It's fun to be creative around the rim. When I get in the paint, I can't rise up over the rim, so you got to have different finishes, right hand, left hand. And like you said, I used to watch LB all the time. I always called him the layup master, because it didn't matter what foot he took off of or how many people were in front of him, he was going to find a way to finish it.
And that's actually what this motion means when everybody's on the bench doing that?
We started that, 3 years ago when he was here, yeah. It still lives.
I see KD doing it too. Steph, you had 42 points, I think 8 assists. assists, only 1 turnover. How are you able to be so accurate with the ball in your hand so much tonight?
Just trying to make simple decisions. I didn't really try to force anything tonight. And when that's the case, the ball moves, we get good possessions and we get good shots. And my assists come from other guys making plays and finishing, whether it's a jump shot or at the rim or whatnot. So, you know, everybody has a part in that.
And it's 11 straight wins now, and you and I have talked about what the team is doing and the defense. I'm curious, what's going right for you during this 11-game win streak?
Playing pretty solid defense, keeping our turnovers down, and playing with a lot of energy and focus. There were some lapses tonight down the stretch of giving them open threes and letting them kind of get back in the game a little bit. But for the most part, we've done a really, really good job of just staying focused for 48 minutes over this win streak.
Thanks, Steph.
Appreciate it.
Guys.
Well, Steph Curry has expended a lot of energy since Durant was injured, and now the schedule getting a bit more favorable. Had the day off yesterday, and the Real Wizard was spectacular in just about every category. And Jim noticed it right from the jump, the energy and bounce that he had. And you think of the Warriors with 3 starters in double figures, but JaVale McGee and Sean Livingston, David West also had double figures. So the synergy between the bench and the starters have been great.
The bench has been playing so well this last month, and a lot of it because of the injury to Durant. Everyone picking up the slack. But this was a game tonight. I thought the Warriors were brilliant, start to finish. Yes, Washington has a little comeback. That's what teams do.
Right.
But it took the Warriors' best, and the Warriors' best brought out the best in Washington for much of this game. Their offense was terrific, but the Warriors' offense behind Stephen Curry was absolutely phenomenal. He was good. 22 points in that first half, and Klay Thompson got it going in the third. They put on a